Hello, viewers. Welcome to Catch a Glance Podcast. I'm your host. My name is Mabel. And here with me in the studio today is
Macron Bonita, your super duper radio boy.
Mr. Monita. I'm so happy to have you with me in the studio.
Oh, a pleasure to be here.
You're welcome, sir. So today we'll be looking at this topic. The rich and the poor, do they live in the same Nigeria?
Oh, well,
Or is there different Nigeria for each specific people? One Nigeria for the rich, one Nigeria for the poor. The rich and the poor, are we living in the same Nigeria?
maybe
Yes, sir.
you permit me to speak Wafi here.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
We know be the same. We know they live the same Nigeria. Now, lie. The only thing that binds us together is geographical location. By geography, we live in the same Nigeria. But every other thing that makes us as a nation, as a people, we all live in different countries, even within the same geographical
So
location.
we have Nigeria for the rich and Nigeria for the poor.
We have Nigeria for the rich and Nigeria for the poor. That's why the rich will have justice. That's why the poor will get no justice. That's why the rich will wine and dine with kings and queens, and the poor will wallow in poverty. Not just poverty, but abject poverty. Like seriously. And you tell us we belong to the same nation? We live in the same Nigeria? It's a no. We don't.
Now, how do we meet up with this inequality? How do we close that gap of having a different Nigeria for each group of people, each level of people? How do we close that gap so that this Nigeria can be for all of us?
Closing the gap is simple. Deal with inflation. Nigeria's inflation rate now rises by 5 to 8% monthly. This is a whooping statistics. Go find and check. The statistics are there according to Nigerian this thing. Not even Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. Now IMF standards, right? The statistics is overwhelming. When we live with 5 to 8% inflation monthly, tell me your salary remains the same and everything increases by 5 to 8% monthly, and yet you receive the same ridiculous salary. How do we survive like that? So dealing with this, closing the gap is simple. Deal with inflation, right? Someone earns 50,000 naira monthly and a bucket of gari, right, increases by 5% monthly. How does such person meet up? How you want make I survive? I reach bus stop, fuel price don't increase. Bus drivers are increasing fares like they are increasing the volume of their radio sets. We just need to look into this. So inflation is the way. That's a simple way. It's just very simple. It's deal with inflation and the gap will be closed.
Yeah, you said we have different Nigeria for each group of people. Like there's Nigeria for the rich, Nigeria for the poor.
Sure.
Now let's go to the health sector. What do you have to say about this health sector concerning trying to close the gap between the rich and the poor? Can you just tell us something about the health sector?
Mabel, these are things I am never happy talking about. Because I know certain health facilities in Nigeria where accessing healthcare costs you millions of naira. Accessing it. I lost my sister to brain tumor. We spent over 11 million naira. Despite this money, she passed away. That was 3 years ago. Now, tell me, if our dear country, Nigeria, has good medical infrastructure. Now you see people traveling out, going to India, going to different countries for surgery to get to access proper medical care. This shouldn't be. We should have proper medical in Nigeria. It's ridiculous. How many doctors do we have in Nigeria? Do you know we've lost over 80% of our doctors and nurses in Nigeria to foreign countries? Because the amounts they offer them over there, I won't say I can't quantify it.
In Nigeria, a content creator earns more than a doctor.
Oh, my dear. A lady trying her waist on TikTok earns more than a doctor.
Yes.
So what are we talking about? In Nigeria. Only in Nigeria.
Wow. Concerning the medical sector, we've seen that there is hospitals for the rich and there's hospitals for the poor. And sometimes even the hospital that is meant for the poor makes even the sick person even more sick. I'm not joking.
Makes them sicker, true.
Because I witnessed something at one hospital. I don't want to mention the name of the hospital.
There you are.
We took someone there. They said there's no bed. No bed. Okay, what do we do now? They say no bed. Abi, what do we want them to do? Hey, the person is busy crying because of pain. I say, is there nothing we can do? They say, there's nothing they can do unless if the patient wants to sit down, maybe they give her medicine, make it sit down.
Can you imagine?
I'm not joking, no. I'm not joking. I saw that now the thing pained me.
Now,
It pained me a lot.
this is a fundamental thing.
Hey God.
It starts from the root. How is the medical primary health center in your area? How does it look? How does it look like? Right? What do you have there? What they have there are just paracetamol. Remember this incident of the lady, of the gospel singer who was bitten by a snake and she died in the process due to what? Lack of snake antidotes.
Medical availability.
Medical availability. So there were no snake antidotes, right?
In the hospital.
In the hospitals around. You understand me? Of about 6 hospitals, maybe one.
Couldn't they have placed call to other hospitals around? Don't the doctors have contact of each other? Can't they reach out to other hospitals that has such thing and see a way to get it across to the patient in order to save the life?
Mabel. Snake poison, the antidote is usually refrigerated and should be under cold condition, temperature, always. Tell me, where is a PhD in Nigeria? What is our electricity supply companies doing? Right? Do you have constant electricity in your place? No, tell me. This is a studio and we run on generator. We've been running on generator in the past 6 hours.
Yes.
So what are we talking about?
And petrol is not that affordable.
1,700 to 1,900 per liter.
Good,
daily. My colleague spends a whooping amount of 30,000 naira in filling his car every other day. Every other day.
Can you imagine?
Now tell me, how much is his salary?
That is why so many people have parked their cars. Or nobody wants to go out with the car again.
I have a colleague who only uses his car once in a week. Once a week.
On Sunday.
Yes, once a week.
To go to church on Sunday, right?
That's all.
Now, coming to another factor that is actually proving that we are having different country for different set of people. Like there is different educational system for the poor and the one for the rich. When you go to the educational sector, you will now believe that true, there is different country for each. We are not living in the same country. Because if you go to where the poor people send their children, you will feel like weeping. You will be like, are they actually studying or they are being punished?
Education is no longer affordable in Nigeria. I must tell you the truth. Education is no longer affordable in Nigeria in the sense that the ridiculous amounts we pay in universities now and polytechnics, right, and other tertiary institutions to access education in Nigeria have been made. I'm trying to use when I talk about like Nigeria, I pick my words because it's our dear country, but it's painful how it happens here. So I mind my use of word when talking about Nigeria. You understand? Because that doesn't change the fact that it's our country and that it remains our dear country. No matter how bad it looks, I'm a Nigerian and I'll forever be a Nigerian. And I'm proud to be, despite all that is going on around us. So education is something the poor cannot even access. My dear, you don't go there. You need to be above average in Nigeria to access education. That's the truth.
Then coming to security differences, can you throw more light? Trying to giving us on the opinion that Nigeria, there is a different Nigeria for the rich and for the poor. Can you shed more light on that security differences?
My sister. You see, some things are better left unsaid when you talk about security situation in Nigeria, right? If a army general could be kidnapped and killed, who am I? Who are we? No, just tell me, who are we? Who are we? A army general who has convoy of soldiers moving with him, who gets him all the time.
Now, what's the fate kidnapped of the common man?
So what is the that's the question. What's the fate of the common man?
Just last month, Students and their teachers were kidnapped at Oyo State.
Yep.
Up till now, it's over a month. They're still in the den of the
About 41 of them still in the den of the kidnappers.
A week is like a week after that kidnap. There was another kidnap in one politician family. Is it what's the name of that?
Adelabu.
Adelabu.
Was it Adelabu? Yes.
Yeah,
They were rescued by the police.
Yes. Where did they rescue them?
Well,
how was they rescued?
Oh well, that's police won't share intelligence reports with you. Yes, for security reasons. But I must commend the police on that one. Like seriously, our security agencies in Nigeria are really working. They're on top of their game.
Then
Don't forget their
when
human.
they want to work, right?
Not when they want to work. As a security personnel, you have no right to do anything right on your own.
Without being
they act on orders, yes. So if you're not getting order from the higher powers or the powers that be, you dare not make a move.
Is it that the higher powers are not giving order for those children to be rescued, or?
That is one question that remains unanswered. And our government makes us understand that they're working, but they can't share intelligence reports, which is absolutely 100% agreed. You know, it's true. There's nowhere in the world you share intelligence report with people except on, rare issues. But you don't give intelligence reports on situations like this when it comes to terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, stealing, and all other things, and killings. You don't share intelligence reports on how far you've gone, or how well you've done, or which way to go, or which way you are going, or which route you're taking. You don't tell anybody about that, which is a security measure, I must tell you.
So, in the area of cost of living impact, do you think that there is differences? There is difference between the way it affects the rich and the way it affects the poor?
Mabel, it affects us the same way.
Okay.
But some, feel the impact more. Yeah. Some feel the impact more in the sense that we all buy fuel. It's same price, right? We all buy food. We go to the marketplace. We buy food. Bag of rice in your bucket is the same as mine. In fact, it is more expensive in the rich dominated areas. In the rich dominated areas, a bag of rice in Lekki is different for is different. The price is different for a bag of rice in Yanopaja. You understand me? So we are different prices for different location, but all the same, the prices have we have a uniform price that goes along. This is where inflation. We're still talking about inflation. All boils down to inflation. Inflation grows in Nigeria by 5 to 8% monthly. How do we survive with that? So closing the gap is simple. Just addressing inflation, deal with it seriously, and the gap will be closed.
Concerning opportunity, do you think that the same opportunity exists both for the poor and the rich, or do we have different
I totally disagree with you. Not the same opportunity. Not the same. If you have your money in Nigeria, you break protocols. Yeah, I've seen it happen. In fact, I've fought in many public areas. Like seriously, I tell you, I'm a vocal person and I say no to oppression. We stay on a queue of about 150 people. Then you find someone who has money because he could influence the ones in charge of the queue, either for anything. We've seen that in ticketing places. We queue at BLT parks. We see how they influence them. We queue at train stations. We see how they influence them. We queue at boat ferry terminals. We see how they influence them. And the list is endless. In hospitals, you find out about 80 people on the queue. Then you see just one person because you could offer 10,000 naira to the attendant. Then you go straight into the consultant's room. It begins with us. Better Nigeria begins with us, believe me.
So do you think that wealth protects people from insecurity and inflation?
Your wealth won't protect you. You feel you are protected by your wealth, but I bet you it will not protect you. We've seen the rich being kidnapped. In fact, kidnappers don't kidnap poor people. That's why they don't kidnap you and I, Mabel. That's the truth. That's why we're not kidnapped. Because they know we are not rich. We don't have the money. We cannot afford to pay ransom. But they will only kidnap the rich. So your wealth cannot secure you as a rich. That's the truth. All we need to do is work this out ourselves.
But don't you think that we, both the rich and the poor, we are being affected the same way? Because the same policy work for both the poor and the rich. Don't you think that?
My sister, policies are broken in some situation. In Nigeria, if you are rich, policies will be broken for you. You break protocols. Like
How?
seriously.
How?
We've seen different cases. I just give a scenario. You walk into a public area, right? You break protocols. There's a queue. You maintain the queue. You you break protocols. You break the process. You jump the queue because you have money you can offer. But I bet you that money cannot protect you.
But during election, both the rich and the poor vote, right?
The rich and the poor.
Yes.
The poor vote more. Yes. The poor vote more. Yeah. Why do you think politicians take their campaign to marketplaces? Why do you think their core areas are the commoners? Because they know you are living in abject poverty, under abject poverty. And average Nigeria we live below poverty line in Nigeria. 141 million Nigerians are living below poverty line. That's a 63% of our population. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. That is absolute poverty. So the poor vote more because the poor want. But politicians know how to go about these things. Yes. They tell you the campaign with what they know you need, and these are basic amenities.
Rice and semo. Rice and semo and apron. And then 2,000 and 5,000.
Well, I want to believe Nigerians are wiser now, but then
not yet, sir.
The level of education is still below average, far below. Yes, because a lot of Nigerians still don't understand what they're doing to themselves, selling your right with just a cup of rice. They give you 1 derica of rice and they take it to you. Will that feed you for 4 years? Of course it won't. They give you 5,000 naira. That would only last you a day, and you've given them your right. You sold your birthright for 4 years. Then they come again and offer you another 5K with not even a bag of rice. A bag of rice might last you months. All right? They offer you 1 paint bucket or 2 derica. That will only last you 2 days. Then you suffer for 4 years.
Sir, what policy do you think that the government can introduce that can bridge the gap between the rich and the poor in this country?
Well, I'm not a policy maker. We leave that to the policy makers.
No. If you are like now, you are passing through it. We are all facing it. Now, what do you think as a common man that this policy, if Nigerian leaders or the policy makers should introduce this policy, that the gap between the rich and the poor will be bridged, will be closed up, so that we all can live in one Nigeria?
Mabel.
Yes, sir.
The policy is simple.
Okay.
Make politics less attractive. Nigeria is one of the, I won't say one of the countries. We run the most expensive government in the world. Even more expensive than the United States. Now, make politics in Nigeria less, make it non-attractive. Yes. Make it strictly civil service. Like level 1, level 2, that's it. You go to work, you go into politics to serve. You go into the chambers to serve the people.
Not to be served.
You are not entitled to public to convoy, right? I know prime ministers of different countries who go to their offices on bike. They ride bicycles. They leave the office without nothing. In the United Kingdom, as a politician, you stay in power without money. Sir. When you leave, your gratuity and your pension makes you rich. Then they compensate your hard work, not while you are there. Yes. So the cost of running government in Nigeria is far too much, too high. The positions are attractive, so everybody wants to be there. Sir. Let it be a position where people go strictly to work their ass out. Simple. The gap will be closed.
Okay, sir. Now, sir, do you think that the rich are disconnected from the realities of ordinary Nigerians? Do you think they are disconnected? Is it that they don't know that there is problem, or that they know but they do not want to provide solution to it?
Sincerely speaking, they are fully aware of the situation. That is why they'll give you a cup of rice to vote for them for 4 years. This is why you see that the rich use the poor as tools for, vices, to carry out criminal activities. I was speaking with a criminologist, right? Then we discovered a lot of crime boils down, we're trying to see from the root causes of crime in Nigeria. We discover it all boils down to poverty. Poverty is responsible for a good number of criminal offenses in Nigeria. So talk about the realities of the realities to the rich. They are fully aware. The rich are fully aware that poverty is real in Nigeria, and Nigerians are living. A good number of Nigerians are living below poverty line.
So do you think that money will determine your quality of life here in Nigeria?
Yes, Nigeria is the only place in the world where money, how much money you have, determines the quality of life you live. In other climes, you don't need too much money to be comfortable. All you need is the government provides for you to be human, to live a quality life, right? You have good housing, shelter over your head,
Power,
you have power, you have
healthcare,
you have healthcare, access to proper healthcare, not just healthcare,
education.
education. All of these are basic human needs. You have them, so you don't need money in all these places. A friend of mine told me sometimes ago, said he can't remember the last time he touched a 100 pound bill. What are you doing with it in your wallet? You don't need it. What are you doing with it? You don't. Like seriously, you don't. Some of my friends in the United States tell me, well, I don't touch $100 because they don't need to. You don't need so much money to access basic amenities. If you need so much money, then maybe you are extra ambitious. You want some other things, but not basic human needs. Only in Nigeria, you need so much money to access basic human needs,
So that
which in my opinion is very ridiculous.
so,
That's
so
bad.
to bring it to conclusion now,
Yeah.
so what do you advise us, the common Nigerians, to do in order to meet up with the gap that the rich has created?
Well, I'm not an advisor, but in my opinion, get your PVC and use your head.
So do you think that
Simple.
the PVC works?
It does. It does. Like seriously, I repeat, it does. If we stand our ground, this is what we want, and this is how we want it. Make your government accountable. Now, it's just saddening, it's painful. A good number of Nigerians are not educated. When we talk about education, I'm not talking about going to Cambridge University. I'm not talking about attending the most expensive university in Nigeria. No, basic education, communication, access to information. These are the tools used against us because they know the ordinary Nigerians do not have access to information. They know ordinary Nigerians do not listen. They know ordinary Nigerians just listen to rumor. Hearsay, then say, Baba say, that's how it goes. Then it becomes news. That's not real. We all need to be educated, properly educated. So I think, in my own opinion, we should take education to the grassroots, right? Uh, Educate that pepper seller next to you on your street. Educate that aboki, that meshai, that meti. Educate them on how to go about things when it comes to politics, when it comes to votes, when it comes to having your PVC, when it comes to voting the credible candidates that you think, in your opinion, can fix Nigeria. We cannot vote everyone. Your candidates can be my candidates. That's the truth. So what you see as prospects might not be what. There's only one thing. We need a credible candidate who can fix Nigeria. Fixing Nigeria won't happen in one day, because corruption has eaten deep into our system. A lot of things have gone wrong in the past years, and then it's not magic. I tell people, if you want magic to happen, maybe you vote a magician, and then call on what's the famous club owner's name? Shinapela. Right? But even Shinapela could not fix Nigeria. I hit my chest and I say this, despite being a magician. You cannot fix Nigeria with magic, because what we have are fundamental problems, and it lies with us, and it begins with us. It begins and ends with us. So let's change our thinking. Let's change the way we think and the way we handle things. Then we see things are going to turn around drastically.
Thank you so much, Governor. I'm so happy to have you. And I must say, all your opinions are really, really fine. And I think what we Nigerians need to do is to change our mindset. Now that we see that, it's like this government is not thinking about us, it's like they're not working for us, they're working for themselves. How do we rescue ourselves? Let's put in effort by doing what, getting our PVC, voting the right candidate, and holding our leaders accountable, so that we will know when they are doing it right when they're not doing it right, and when to say no. So, but some people feel because of the number of tribal differences in Nigeria, is making it hard for the masses to unite against bad leadership. You hear someone saying, "It's my tribe, it's my tribe," even if it's not doing it well. Thank God it's my tribe that is there, and that can never take us anywhere. It can never take us anywhere. And the funniest thing, the person you are protecting, the person you're defending, saying is my tribe, and may not even know you, may not even have your car. So let's change our reasoning and then think on how to improve our life, think of how to meet up on the gap that the government has created, that their leaders, our politicians has created, making us look like odd Nigerians. We are supposed to be the same, but now they've created a different Nigeria for the poor, and then they're now using our money to build a new Nigeria for themselves, a Nigeria that we that have the resources cannot even access. So we need to change our mentality, we need to change our reason and educate people around us. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for joining us. It's still we, the podcast team, the Catch a Glance podcast team. We are still bringing more. Please subscribe to our channels on YouTube, on TikTok, or on Facebook, and keep following us for more. Thank you so much for watching. Please, Mr. Tunde, say hi and bye to our viewers.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.